Hi, welcome to SCD meeting. Today is June 12th, and right now we have three items on the agenda. So the first one is about documentation. So I assume this is added by Josh.
Yeah. Yep. I've been trying to clear out long-standing PRs for documentation, but there's two PRs that are actually kind of stuck on discussions of functionality and have been hanging around in indefinite state for months. So the first one is somebody wrote up a how-to document on how to convert from a an etcd setup without TLS to being set up with TLS. But there was a lot of argument on whether or not the technique that they chose would work consistently. And so I'm looking for someone to make a decision there, because it is something like that went into the documents as a user because it's a question we've had from users, right? So I don't know if
Josh.
if
Actually,
Ivan filling in is here. Yeah.
Josh. Actually, I involved in the discussion. The problem is, the motivation is just, for example, the cluster doesn't use T certificates. The user want to migrate the cluster from non-certificate cluster to a certificate cluster. This is motivation, right? However, I think the motivation is good. We support there is useful use case, but the problem is we need to make sure the steps can be interrupt and resume. Like, for example, if the step process is somehow interrupted in the middle, for example, the member crashed or the other member, whatever member crashed in the middle, the user can, when the server gets started again, the user can resume the process, continue to do the process. So this we need a robust way to do the process. But currently the user, the contributor just, for example, update the certificate for all the members at the same time. It assume the class is running all the way during the process. It's good, but if the members crash in the middle, I don't think it can. If one of the VM get restarted or crashed, I don't think he can resume this process. So I think the pretty key point, we need a robust way to do the process. Yeah, we need someone to manually verify the process.
Yeah, but one of the other things I need to look at is what is
we need
our
someone
current documentation, right? What does our current documentation look like? Or do we have? We don't have any documentation.
There's no way. We are missing document right now.
Okay. Yeah, because I can definitely test out the instructions as written out. I'm not sure how to simulate an unexpected failure in the middle, though.
Yeah, but I think we need the process to be robust. If the user some issue happen in the middle, then there's no way to, if there's no workaround to mitigate the situation, then the process is not good. We need to make sure the process is robust enough.
Yeah. What about, for this particular doc, right? Because, I mean, it seems like to make the process robust, we're probably going to have to add a feature to etcd, no?
Or if it works can we verify it in as a robustness test scenario?
Okay.
So is that a prerequisite for adding this doc?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I'm open to add whatever task to verify it, but I doubt it might be difficult to do it.
Yeah.
And another perspective, I don't think it's a priority from the LCD project perspective.
Well, if nobody's going to work on verifying it, then my inclination would be to say, let's move it to the tasks folder and put it in there with the caution that we don't know if it would survive a crash in the middle. Because a lot of the stuff in the task folder is sort of general instructions that have caveats, and then not put it in that security doc, which is supposed to be more vetted stuff.
Yeah, it's okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll add that to the incident, and then also transaction ordering one is similar. Which was basically the contributor documented the existing sort of transaction ordering. There's a question there, particularly from Marek, about whether or not this ordering is just an accident of implementation and not something we want to guarantee, and therefore not something we want to put in the docs, because putting it in the docs would be guaranteeing that ordering for the future, or whether it is something that we think is highly unlikely to change.
I believe we already have documents on the ordering, on the watch guarantee. Let me get the doc.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 second. I probably need some time to get the document. We have official document on the watch API guarantee. I recall, yeah.
Yeah, but this is specifically about transaction, like orders of transaction, like operations within a single transaction.
Oh, operating single transaction.
Yeah, so if you have multiple operations in a single transaction, I don't think there's currently any guarantee.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is, we guarantee for example, if there are multiple operations in one transaction, we guarantee atomicity. If all the transactions are successful or failed, why don't care about this order?
Yeah, well, and one of the reasons I can see why we wouldn't want to guarantee the order is, if we started working on, for example, batch commit for etcd, you could imagine that we might actually do internal reordering. Okay. So it sounds like the verdict on that is it's not something we want to guarantee by putting it in the docs.
Yeah, maybe you could mention the prospect of maybe supporting batch transaction in the future that might be different.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good
point.
And
again, this is an opportunity to move it to somewhere else that doesn't provide a guarantee of future functionality, like a blog post, to say, hey, as of etcd 3.6, this is how it works, but it could work differently in the future. And it might have, in fact, worked differently in the past.
Yeah, we just have no verification of it. I mean, it's the way the code is written, but like there's no test for it and there's no documents guaranteeing it.
Yeah, as far as I know, actually, if the multiple operations in one transaction, we, we don't have documents, but from the implementing perspective, we just run the operation one by one, just to keep the same order as the present in the transaction. This is one point. On the other hand, if the multiple operation in one transaction update the same key, I recall we don't allow such situation. For example, the first operation just add a key, the second operation delete the key, or the third operation just update the same key. We don't allow this situation, this use case. I recall.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're already not necessarily following the order. Got it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'll put down both issues. Thanks.
All right, so the next agenda is mine. So I'm wondering if we can have a special design review meeting for the cluster SCD. So Benjamin has been looking at it, but there are some points that are hard to discuss in PR comments. And so I'm thinking maybe we can use one of the triage meeting as a review meeting.
Triage meeting, okay. The one option use the triage meeting. The other option is just we can extend the biweekly committee meeting, for example, by extend for more than 30 minutes more. We can just discuss this right after the committee meeting.
Okay, I think that's probably better. Or so we can maybe target the next community meeting.
Okay.
Cool. Then the next one is, I think, Joshua James. Yeah.
Yep. Just wanted to see who's taking point on the maintainer submissions for KubeCon North America. So that would include maintainer track talk, potential Contrib Fest, kiosk request, etc. I just don't want to lose track of this because they're due in 3 weeks.
I can work on it, but I've never done it before for the kiosk or the Contrib Fest. So if anyone can help me with it.
Just one comment. Actually, we discussed this in our last operator meeting, and we are going to do a joint maintainer track for AdCity and AdCity operator. So we need some discuss with the AdCity operator folks to how to coordinate this. So I talked with Ivan will be coordinating this, so you can talk to Ivan offline.
Yeah, but Sion is going to take point on it in general.
Yeah, so maybe Benjamin can take care of the maintainer track.
No, probably I'm not going to the KubeCon North America this time.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Sion, I can support you because I've helped lots of projects with their submissions.
Okay. Yeah, so
I also will be at like KubeCon NA most likely, so if need be, I can help too.
Okay, that'd be great.
Who is speaking? I didn't catch that.
Vivek.
Oh, okay, cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Let's start thread. Okay. That's all for that one.
All right, the next one, maintain SCD Go fail.
Yeah, so today Men suggested during a review in GoFail to have reviewers or maintainers for GoFail. So you can see the comment on the link. So I just he asking me to bring it today in talk with a call. Sorry. So yeah, no one can see your screen. So I think just I can put it there. So Ben thinks that we can delegate maintaining or reviewing GoFail to other folks. Right now we only just bumped the Golang version as a dependencies. As Perez comment, there is no requirements to add any features in the near future. So I just
Yeah, from my perspective, we LCD is an organization. There are many products, there are many projects under the org. So we need some maintainer or reviewer to take in charge of each project. So currently, I'm the only person to review all of PR for all the projects, almost all the projects. So I wanted to introduce more maintainer or reviewer to take in charge of some project. The GoFair is a small project. I think it's a tool. Currently, we don't have much feature on this project, but we currently only have dependency bump, some Golang version and dependency bump, something like this. In the future, we may have some feature, but for now, there's not much feature. So we need some maintainer to, for example, review the dependency, bump Golang version, something like that. Take charge of this.
Yes, I can volunteer for this.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, how to proceed? Should I raise a PR in the org or?
Yeah, I think you can raise usually. Please take a look the link, the membership link. If you've gone to, you are already a member of the org. So if you want to be reviewed, please get to sponsor for the. Please open the, please take a look at the membership the doc. There's some guidelines, some requirements.
Sure, I will do it today. Okay, that's all from my side. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, yes, you're muted. So yeah, but it is my question. So hi everyone, I'm Kirill. I'm first time here, so maybe there will be some kind of list of newbie questions. But yeah, in general, I just would like to complete my first contribution to this project. Yeah, and there is some kind of a comment that was left by Ben 2 weeks ago. Yeah, just so there was some kind of suggestion to bring here a plan on this meeting, and that should be discussed, like kind of approved. And then, as far as I understood, I just need to prepare some list of PR pull requests, and maybe that's it. But at first, it looks like I need to get some approval. I don't know how and I don't know where exactly, but yeah. Hopefully Ben is here. Maybe you can remind all your comments that you left.
Oh yeah, yeah. I read the last comment to provide example output before and after the change. I see. Oh, you already provide example in the first comments, right? Sorry, I didn't see that.
No worries. I made it after your comment, so I just added it.
Okay, you updated the comment. Okay, I didn't see it. Okay, I will take a look offline. So overall, I think this PR looks good. Yeah, I think. Yeah, for the this PR only updates one command. We need to make sure all the commands have the consistent implementation. So you are going to update all other commands in the following PR, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I will take a look offline. So most likely I will approve this PR later.
It's already been approved, I guess, but yeah, I guess you'll need to approve this additional. And one more little question: there was like a suggestion to add some unit tests, but there was like there were no unit tests for this model before, and just a question, maybe it was likely made on purpose.
Yeah, I think the for testing the etcd CTL, etcd UTL, I don't think at UTE test is good way because it's overkill to test just command line tool. I think we should add unit test. We don't have unit test. I think this is we are missing the test functional unit test. We need to add unit test. Yeah,
Yes.
probably we can. There's no example to follow, right? We can
Yeah.
provide example to follow.
Yeah, I think probably best to have a umbrella issue of improving the tool unit test, and then
Yeah, agree.
some plan and some examples first.
So if I understood correct, we're going to like move out adding unit tests out of scope of the PR, right?
Yeah, just the comment just updates your issue to make sure it's umbrella issue to get all the plan included in the issue. For example, what's the first step, the second step? For example, update all the add the unit test framework, and then up each command one by one. When you update each command, make sure you add a unit test, something like that. Just just the overall plan for this all the work. Make sure that there's no any single tasks are missing in the future.
Yeah, I think for new contributors, it's still best to follow some examples first. So I think maybe unit test is out of scope for this PR. It can be a follow-up issue, maybe.
Is this question to me or Ben?
Yeah,
Ben.
Yeah, the problem is we need to verify the command line tool to always generate the expected output. This is the motivation we add unit test. Usually, in previous experience, we only add E2E test to verify the output of the tool. But our E2E test is overkill for just verify the command line tool. So we need to add unit test to verify the output. Currently, we only depend on the contributor to manually verify the output. For example, what's the output before the change? What's the output after the change? Just provide a comment in the PR. So we want to automate this. We add a unit test to automate the verification. This is the motivation.
Right, but in order for etcd CTL to return the results, usually it talks to etcd client, and then there's no.
I believe we can use some unit test, just some fake server, something like that. Just the stop, not the real etcd server.
Right.
Anyway, we can discuss this
more
discuss offline.
Someone needs to create the fake server, so I don't think we can address that in this particular PR, right?
Yeah, we can discuss some offline. Probably we can share some experience I did before. They don't have to create a server. We can tell.
Yeah. So I think that the question, Chris, what's your name?
I'm Kirill.
Yeah. So I think the question is, can we move the unit test out of scope for this PR?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can manually verify this. Okay, it's fine. We can add unit test later. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Cool. I think that's settled. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah. That's it. And also, like the first point, how can I get some approval of the plan, or just I need to improve the plan that I've already provided into the issue?
Benjamin, you have any comments?
I think I suggest you have to choose. You can just update the issue, update the title. For example, make sure all the commands to output the ID as hex, not the decimal, right? Something like that. Just and then add the overall plan in the comments.
So do you want me to just update the whole issue description?
Yeah, you can just update the description, the first comment, the very first comment to list all the plan. So what's the steps to finish all the tasks?
I see.
All right, does that answer your question?
Looks like, but yeah, maybe I will reach someone offline.
Okay, sounds good. Vivek, next one.
Yeah, I think I was discussing this with Ben. It should be very quick. So by the way, so just for everyone in the background, like the problem is like, say for example, when you have like an etcd server configured to be using MTLS, so like the cert auth, I think true flag, if I remember correctly, is the one that you need to enable when you're doing MTLS for the client server, not the PO ones. This is just purely client server. So the problem is like when you try to like say for example, if you have a legacy customer who used to use ID passwords and we recently moved our clusters to like MTLS, then they won't be able to connect anymore because MTLS just at the transport layer itself, like if it sees like the client auth flag is true, it just automatically rejects without actually looking at the credentials. So it requires a certificate, even though the certificate might not be valid. It still requires a certificate to be present and presented when sending a request out. So Ben, the step 3 is what reproduces the issue itself. I can make it like a little more polished and kind of run you down the commands through like how this exactly is like an issue. Like, but I do see I can verify that if MTLS flags are enabled, then you can't have ID password users connecting to etcd. So
Yeah. Actually, can you scroll down the last comment I added? I added the comment in the last.
sorry. Okay. I didn't see that. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, for the certificate, TLS communication is totally transportation layer authentication.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's actually is the Golang library enforcement the authentication. For the username password is the etcd level, the authorization. When the user have the username password you provide in the command line, the first step is to do authentication to get a token, either simple or JW token. And then
Yep.
the next step, at the server side, it will use the token to verify whether or not the user have the right permission to do the operation. So actually, the rollback is the authorization scope. But for the certificate common name based authentication, there's no password needed because the etcd server get the username from the common name from the certificate, and then
Correct.
verify the user have the right permission. So anyway, in summarize, the username password authentication and the common name based authentication is two different things.
My point is like at least like for like a foreseeable future, right? Like if you're moving from like a traditional ID password based to a common name based authentication scheme, you'd have to have like some sort of transition, right? Like
Got it.
So I was just thinking if there's room for like I have a patch because we had this use case and we came across this. I don't know if the community would be interested in like a patch like this because it seems like a pretty edge use case because I don't know, I couldn't find a discussion about this before. So I'm assuming no one came across this, or maybe they did and did not have a patch. So
Okay, got it. Yeah. For that case, for example, if you have already used the password config, add many user for the system, and then one day you just add the certificate for the system, so you want to work. So in that case, the one workaround is make sure the certificate, the common name in the certificates has the same name, as the user. This is the workaround.
correct. Yep.
Otherwise,
Yeah, that is the thing.
can do it.
But like, because I think the problem is like there's some customers with like 700-800 clients, so they can't possibly like move everything at the same time. So some clients will auth through, even though they're the same user, will auth through like ID passwords, like with a token, and some will just use the MTLS certificate, like with the common name that is correctly assigned to them. But I wanted to support both use cases on the same cluster, and that's kind of the use case that I was thinking about at the same time, right? So,
But from my understanding, if the user just depend on the username password to do authentication, they don't use the certificate at all. I don't think it's a bad practice for the product use case. In the product use case, you have to use the certificate anyway, no matter you enable the username password. This is my understanding.
Maybe we can take this offline, and I'll
Yeah,
comment
yeah,
more
yeah,
on it.
yeah, yeah.
But I
We
think
can do that online. Yeah, okay.
yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you for the feedback, though. Appreciate it.
All right, we are at time. So any other questions, comments? So if not, then thank you everyone for attending this meeting. Have a good rest of your day.